Hi fellas, this is Chemaddicts again to the solution. Welcome back to another video tutorial. Well fellas, now we're gonna solve this question. So this question says the following, which of the following has the smallest ionic radius? Okay. So they have given us a bunch of options. So before going to the answer, let us discuss some of the points, some of the what it is called, some of the features that ion should have in order to have ionic radius. Okay, smallest ionic radius. So here, as we can see that here are two anions and two cations, two positively charged ions, which is cations are positively charged, we all know. Here are two positively charged ions and here two negatively charged anions are given. Okay, so generally we know that anions are bigger bigger than its usual atoms. Okay, so here we also know that cations are smaller. Okay, cations are smaller cations are smaller then we also know that we should know that greater the charge, smaller the size. So here is another relationship that we would discuss, that here greater the charge, smaller the ions. Okay, that the ions would be smaller. Greater the charge, the ions would be smaller. So here let us discuss these 3 points over here. So here the anions would be the greatest. Okay, the anions would be the bigger. So these bunch of ions, this bunch of negative ions would be bigger. Okay, and this bunch of positively charged ions are smaller relative to each pair. Okay, so let us know why. Okay, so anions are greater than it. That's because anions are negatively charged. Anions are negatively charged. Okay, anions are negatively charged ions which are greater than its usual atoms. Okay, anions are negatively charged ions. Anions or negatively charged ions are greater than its usual atoms. Okay, greater the negative charge on ions would increase in size since there is increase in repulsion between the electrons in shells. So here negatively charged means it has greater number of electrons than its usual atoms. So greater number of electrons than its usual atoms, so there would be increase in repulsion between the electrons in shells. Okay, so that is why anions are greater than its usual atoms. Okay, now let's have a look on cations. So cations are positively charged ions, okay, which are smaller than its usual atoms. So why they are smaller than its usual atoms, smaller than their usual atoms? That's because greater the positive charge on ions would decrease in size since there is increase in attraction between the electrons and positively charged nucleus. So since there is since this is positively charged ions, so they have less number of electrons. So each electron will have more attraction between the nucleus. It will have more attraction between the electrons and the positively charged, between the positively charged electrons. There would be increase in attraction between the electrons and positively charged nucleus. Okay, since there are less number of electrons in the positively charged ions. Okay, so they will have increase in attraction between the electrons and positively charged nucleus. That's why these positively charged ions would be smaller, and negatively charged ions would be bigger. Okay, so now we have came to know that the positively charged ions are smaller. Okay, so between them, which should be the smallest? Okay, so here is another point that we need to know, that greater the charge, smaller the ions. So in between them, greater the positive charge would have smaller ions. So here it actually means greater the positive charge. If we specify the charge, greater the positive charge, smaller the ions. Okay, as simple as that. So greater the positive charge, smaller the ions. So here magnesium is positively charged ions, and it also have more charge than sodium, so the magnesium would be the answer. So D is the answer. So that is why D is the answer. Most of the students might think that, oh, sodium might be the answer. No, no, no. That's because sodium has less charge than sodium ion has less charge. Sodium ions has less charge than magnesium. Since sodium ion has less charge than magnesium, so it would be bigger relative to magnesium ion. Okay, so sodium ion would be bigger relative to magnesium ion, but these two are smaller relative to the negatively charged ions. Okay, the sodium ion would be, let me repeat this again, the sodium ion would be bigger than the relative magnesium ion, but these two are smaller relative to negatively charged ions over there. So these two are bigger, then we are not considering them as smallest. We're gonna leave those options. So A and B is not the answer. So we are left here. We are only left here with is the only option we are left here is C or D. So since magnesium has greater charge, so since let me write it down here. Since magnesium ion has greater charge, greater positive charge, more specifically greater positive charge. Okay, greater positive charge. Since magnesium ion has greater positive charge than sodium ion. Okay, since magnesium ion has greater positive charge than sodium ion and it is positively charged, so the magnesium would be the smallest of all ion. So ionic radius also means size. Okay, it also means size of the atom. So we also came across here, we also came to know that smallest ionic radius also means smaller size. Okay, so this is how it should be. So I hope that you have understood the question as well as the solution. So that's it for today. So if you have any question regarding this topic, please let me know in the comment section. So that's it. Okay, so that's it for today. Best of luck. Stay awesome, stay cool, and as always, peace with chemistry.